From the streets of Chengdu, where Team Spirit's already walking around, to the beaches of LA, where FaZe Rain is now signing contracts with 100 Thieves. Welcome to Into the Smoke, the premier show where the professionals talk about the most unprofessional stuff in Counter-Strike esports. Today, we have a lovely cast of Patrick, Davis, CJ. We're talking about a lot of fun stuff. You guys been playing Counter-Strike and enjoying it?
Enjoying it, I guess sometimes. So that's subjective, but playing Counter-Strike, yes.
I have not been playing Counter-Strike at all. I've honestly been watching Counter-Strike, but not playing it in any sense of the word. And I don't really know why. I've kind of been, I don't know. You find yourself busy. It's a 45-minute game. If it's a long one overtime, you're an hour, 10 minutes in. You know, it's a lot.
Yeah, but if you play with Pat now, you get to see his shiny new toys, Pat.
You have shiny
yeah,
toys?
I've only been playing a little bit, because I got these nice new green butt plugs.
Hey,
They make playing the experience a whole lot better.
oh, that's the in-game version, right?
Okay, so before the show, you guys were joking about this. I had no clue what it was, and now I understand completely.
Yeah.
Those are so great.
Yeah, they're cool knives.
I love that for you.
And you got the Dopplers. They're sick.
Yes.
Doppler. That's what he
Gamma
wanted. He
Dobblers.
wanted something
On
great.
the cheap. Thank you, Market Crash. Much
Hey.
appreciated.
Yeah. Speaking of crashes, though, the first thing we're going to talk about are bumper stickers for our icebreaker. And I think, CJ, you got a fun one.
I do have a fun one here. If you didn't watch IEM Chengdu, one of the things that happened is Spirit got bounced, and so this one is Donk getting donked. He got donked by himself, by his own team. He's out. I'm sorry, Dylan. I know this is your favorite team, but sometimes the donk has to get donked.
Yeah, so he's the one honking currently. That's what we're.
Yes.
That's what we're going.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
It does happen.
He donked himself.
It does. A quick shout out.
Donk.
Nick takes the time to make the graphics for all these intros, and it's amazing. Thank you, Nick. You're the man.
Yep, that's true. Very unsurprisingly, mine is going to be about FaZe. Fun fact: they didn't go far at all, and the car is moving slow. The four-way flash is rolling, and it's not raining. Kerrigan, you just got to move out of the way. I don't think it's Jacob's fault. It sucks. They look terrible though.
That seems very Kerrigan driving in the middle of the road right there. Just lost.
Four ways.
Doesn't
on
know
this
what he's
cruise.
doing.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
He's just
swing
there.
on.
Dude, it's so on brand too, because it was so disappointing to watch their matches because they look absolutely awful. I think the rain move is terrible. I don't believe in the new squad. It's just
At this
rough.
point, just undo it, bring it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you got for us, Davis?
I'm next, and surprise, we got the Falcons. Honk if we're going to win the major. I think everybody behind them is honking right now after their performance so far at Chengdu.
Wait, so everybody that is going to beat them in the majors honking? That's what you're saying?
Yeah. Everybody's honking, and if they read that bumper sticker, you know what that means.
I don't think, dude. I think you're gonna get one of the two for the major. It's either going to be they're going to win the major or they're gonna win this one, and nothing in between. I think one of them is gonna be a flop, and it might be this one. We'll see.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully this is the flop.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Instead of the
You would
major.
rather it be this one, right?
Than the
other
major,
one.
yeah.
It'll be this one and the last one
And
the
then the one in the
next
middle.
one and the one in the middle. Just all of them.
They're super hot right now.
Well,
Hard to beat.
so we're doing predictions
Yeah.
later in the show, obviously, but it's one of those where it's like, I'm guessing a lot of people took the Falcons on this one, but if this is the one that they flop, it is so bad. Like, I hate it going into the major because I really want the Falcons to get the win for sure, but it's, I don't know.
You just want it for Davis.
Yeah, I want it for
Yeah.
Davis. I want it for me. I want it for M0nesy. I want Nico to be able to have his shot, his moment as well. So
Pat, what you
Well,
got?
they just gotta stop choking. Mine's going back to the Spirit hate train, and
Wow. Wow.
nice.
mine's more. We changed aesthetics here, and now we're driving a bus that's on the shorter side.
Yeah, it doesn't look very long.
Yeah, it's on the shorter side. It's kind of a special bus, and it's for the special people of Spirit and how they just
I don't know if
really dropping off the map. But basically, what happened is all of the Spirit members' parents must have ingested Tylenol when they were being created because they have lost.
I don't know that.
They have lost it. They have lost the plot.
I don't know if there are many Europeans fully understand that, but I assure you,
Have you seen the movie The
The
Ringer?
Europeans might be
just
lost
as
on that one.
offended as you think it is.
I don't know. Have you seen the movie The Ringer?
No.
You don't remember that movie?
No.
You guys?
I did.
Anyway, great movie about the Special Olympics, but like Donk is basically like the guy in the movie. His name might be Jimmy. I might be misremembering.
Okay.
He's like the king of it. Like he is the
It's Johnny
best.
Knoxville that plays him, right?
Yeah, well, he plays in the movie, but he's not the star special athlete.
saying that he
the
should-
Donk is that guy. He's like the king of the
group.
rest.
The group. Okay. Well, that's been a fun little bumper sticker segment. I think that is all we need from that. The next thing we're gonna hop into is gonna be our Twitter feeds from the week. We all grabbed one, pulled them up, and then want to show you guys. I'm gonna tee this one off first. And that's because it's a sick event got announced. IEM Atlanta is going to be coming. There's actually going to be a COD event here as well, which is really cool. DreamHack Atlanta is moving to the spring, and it's going to be another event for CS. The Dallas event, I guess they're rebuilding the center, so it's not going to be there for a little bit. So they'll be moving to Atlanta for the interim. It's cool. NA is going to get an event. Hopefully, all the big teams still keep coming to America. We don't have a major this year, so I do fear that they might not. But it's cool.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like this is cool. I like some events being in America, but Atlanta, Georgia is not it.
Yeah,
I do not like that city.
I was gonna say because
Not-
it's normally in Dallas.
it's not
right?
a fun city.
Historically, it's been a Dallas.
They're
event.
rebuilding that community.
Yeah.
Dallas, much better city than Atlanta.
The weird thing to me is this is a I don't know how many of you guys have been to the DreamHack event before, but it is a flat convention center. There is no arena at it. Whereas in Dallas, it's really cool because you have, I think it's the Kelly McKay Arena Convention Center thing. Or
That's where
whatever.
the major was. It's not.
No. That was
No,
where
that was
IEM
in
Dallas.
Austin.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm
But it was like it's normally in like an arena. But this one, I don't know, it's a flat ground. I've literally ran an event there
Flat
before. It's flat. Like I don't know how they're gonna make a cool stadium. So I hope they do it somewhere nearby. But I agree. Other cities could have been cooler, but hey, we'll take it. It's NA Counter.
Close it for us.
Yeah,
it is-
nice-
it
nice
is
for us.
true.
I mean, we're based out of Charlotte, so that's easy for us to be able to go over. And it's what's great about it is it does have an international airport, and it's central to the to the East Coast, so you can come from north or south. So that's cool. I'm with you though, Pat. I think Atlanta's kind of a weird. You want it to be. I do like Dallas, right? As a great spot. Maybe
Miami.
Miami, right?
Boston.
Yeah. You literally went everywhere
Yeah,
I wanted to
100%,
go.
100%.
Yeah, you know.
But I mean, COD's there, so hey, it's
Many cities in the United
be nice.
States we could
That's true.
choose.
Charlotte even.
Hey,
That'd have been real.
Atlanta's
That would have been
That'd have been
real
real
convenient.
Real
Atlanta's
convenient.
getting to that point though. They host a lot of stuff. Atlanta's a big time
It is.
city nowadays.
Got the Olympics, all kinds of nonsense. Well, so what you got for us, Davis?
I think. Oh yeah, mine's about the Mongolz. It's a meme that they have after they beat Spirit. They posted on their social media side, and I love it. I think it's perfect for the situation. So this is Magnus Carlsen, and I can't remember this gentleman's name that beat him right now. So the guy beat him, and he's like absolutely surprised. He can't believe that he won. And Magnus, he does a little rage. He slams the desk and then like shakes his hand or whatever. But I think this is perfect because it's the Mongolz versus Spirit. Like Mongolz has never been able to beat Spirit. They finally beat them, and they post this. They're like, "Wow, we're surprised as much as you guys that we beat them." But I think it just goes along perfect.
Not only
with
that,
the
with a
scenario.
replacement, and then just like Magnus, you had Donk slamming
The desk.
and everything.
Exactly.
The thing is, I think people clapped at the end of it. With the Magnus one, everybody waited on him to leave the room, and then they clapped. It would have been insane if when Donk leaves, crowd goes wild.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one of those like totally on brand, right? I love it. I mean, it's also I was excited to see Team Spirit lose to the Mongolz, even with a sub, and it just an odd environment, right? But and the Mongolz historically have a really fun Twitter account. They do a lot of silly things like this. They have been a little bit unhinged at times, so pretty on brand for them.
I'm also pumped. It means we're getting phased Donk soon, so it is what it is.
That would be a terrible move, but
For who? Team Spirit for sure.
just Counter Strike as a whole.
It's better than Donk Falcons.
Mm, if you're gonna have the money team
Dude, I
win,
think-
then just have them win.
Well, I'm next. I want to jump into this. So
money teams.
yeah, speaking of money teams where Donk could potentially go, Rain is going to 100 Thieves. He was signed over there. There's a lot of rumors speculating. We haven't gotten a ton of details. Is it just a content creator role?
Sure.
I did read an article today that he was the proposed plan behind the scenes is for him to actually show up, be the IGL, build a Counter-Strike team for 100 Thieves to play in. Now, I think the counter side of that argument is like we've seen a lot of news around 100 Thieves having financial issues. Is this something they can actually do? They've been talking about getting out a lot of games. They just got out of League of Legends. So can this actually happen in the way that they want it to really create a top contending team? I would say to start the conversation off, I think Rain could do that. I think he wants to build a roster, but who do you find? What does it look like? So I'm curious what you guys think on potential rosters and if you like this move or not.
I think it's like I like the move because I want to see Rain keep playing Counter Strike and stuff. I just think it's a little weird with how like the whole thing with FaZe went down with him and him saying that he's probably going to be out of Counter Strike within the next couple of years. I think it's weird to kind of bring him in and be like the IGL or the face now. But I mean, I hope he stays around, so I hope it happens.
Yeah, to me, it's a little sus from the sense of like FaZe doesn't really have a lot to do with FaZe Clan. But like 100 Thieves, like it is an LA-based org. They're like very vibe squad. They do content house and cool stuff. And it's like, I think that there is a reality where like Rain does that stuff. But I also think that they're based in LA. Like you're gonna play in Eastern Europe. Like that is where you are gonna be based out of. Like it's gonna be hard to get those like I don't know. Just Phase is like such a cool vibe, but like 100 Thieves, like it's there, but the finance stuff's weird and just I don't know, the whole thing feels weird.
Yeah, and the money thing is the biggest question mark for me. So, like, did he take a big pay cut to go and do this just because it's a passion project and he's just kind of helping them build? Or did 100 Thieves find some money? Or was this always their plan? And we're not going to know the answers to those questions, but that's kind of like when I look at it at face value is like, if they don't have enough money to spend what we know is big money in some of these teams. I mean, the team spirit players, Vitality, Falcons as a whole, can they compete with those guys? I don't know, right? We know there's some great players on the market, though. There's Dexter, we always talk about.
Yep.
Great op on the market that they could go pick up, right? If a rifler became available.
JL.
JL. Yeah, exactly. And so there's a lot of potential there, but I'm kind of with you, Davis, where it's like, I'm not really sure if it's going to work out in that way. It just doesn't make sense yet. So
It's probably the Pokemon merch, for being honest.
there you
Probably
go.
that.
Yeah.
He just wanted some
Yeah,
bits.
I think I do agree with your point. There is a lot of talent out there, but like with Rain, wanting to retire soon in a couple of years, it's like this team will take time to build together. It's not like they're going to be able to throw it together and they are going to be that top 5 contender. It's something that has to be nurtured, and maybe in time they will be a great contender because, I mean, obviously the 100T does not have like the Falcons money, so they can't go drop $2 million for a player. So you got to start somewhere, and that takes time. And if he is the IGL and they do build it out and he stays around for a while, I think it's pretty cool. If he's just going for content creation, stuff like that, I mean, that's also pretty cool.
That seems more reasonable to me, if I'm
He's a
honest.
content creator?
Yeah, just straight content creator.
good way to retire.
He's gonna do numbers. It's gonna be if they can build in some kind of 100 Thieves contract where it's like they get a percentage of those dollars that works for 100 Thieves, and I think he can be involved in that way. But
It's perfect timing for the Tarkov 1.0 launch.
there you go.
Just rip right into that.
Tarkov mentioned on stream.
100%. But speaking of things that
Always
are probably going to last a good while, what you got something about Molodoy?
Yeah, I got his statements over here from an interview. We got a clip they're gonna play.
MVP again? Yeah, what can I do? What can I do? I'm just play Counter-Strike because it's my life. And, sometimes you suck, sometimes you fuck. It's good for me. I'm all done, man.
I think it's sick.
Yeah, basically he just had some funny quotes. Sometimes you suck, sometimes you affect. So it's one of those things of it's just hilarious, and it's great to see anytime any players get interviewed where they just like they're being themselves, they're being funny, they're not necessarily trying to be PC or anytime, and it's just a basic thing. Sometimes you do suck, and sometimes you
have a good time.
You rock.
You have a good time.
Trying not to say the word here, guys. It's a little
down.
difficult. I'm wanting to.
We're
Not
doing a
gonna
great
say it.
job.
No, it's crazy because like there was more aura in that post than anything that Vitality and Mouse have done this whole year.
That's actually-
Vitality, not Mal, sure.
Apex is the only
Is a
reason
part
I
of
went-
Vitality, so thus he is in that group. So
I think what he said was funny and like maybe had some aura, but like I don't know. I just feel like watching him say that was like super cringe.
It was a little cringe. I'm with you, Davis. It was a little cringy. I'm with you on the same way, though, Pat, in the fact that like it's cool that he made the content, right? Because I think
Yeah.
it's easy for you to be like, hey, I'm not going to post that. I'm not.
Well, it's also very clear that they're like asking him questions not in his primary language as he's backing up his keyboard.
Yeah.
So I'm certain he's like, how do I even say this in English? I like maybe if it's in his language, it is cool. It's like a lot different.
I'm all for the simplicity, just straight to the point.
That's also how I feel about pretty much all of our Counter-Strike skills.
Yeah,
Sometimes
100%.
I'm going
Sometimes.
to get a shot.
Yep, 100%.
Exactly.
It's very
We
accurate.
all can relate.
Yeah, at least
to
it's
Molodoy.
consistent. Okay, now we know at the top, it's sometimes you're having a great day, sometimes you're having a bad day, just like anything else.
100%. And that's where I think we're going to hop on to the next thing. Speaking of great days and bad days, we're going to hop into our IEM recap of what's been currently happening at this event. We'll just start with the bad days. I mean, we've seen some big names drop out early. We already mentioned FaZe. They had a terrible time. Like, is this what we've kind of come to expect from this roster? Or, like, were you surprised that they got double bounced like that?
So let me just the bracket here was they played against Mouse first,
Yep.
right? FaZe did, and they got absolutely schwacked. It wasn't close.
Yep.
Now, and Mouse has shown that they look a little better this tournament, right? So that one I was kind of like, well, okay, fine. We'll decide we can make a losers bracket run. But then they came down, played against VP, and they played. I mean, they took a map off of them, which is enough, but they didn't actually.
Off of VP.
Yeah, off of VP.
The dying org.
I get it.
It looks terrible.
I'm not saying that like it was amazing, but it's also I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt as they're trying to work through this. And I mean, the last two maps were not that close, and it does not look like this phase is. I think What was the event where they had their miracle run with Rain? It was 2 events
Oh,
ago.
2 events ago.
2 events ago. Well,
Oh,
like
it was in the studio.
yeah, in the ESL Pro League. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
Pro League,
EPL.
yeah.
So during EPL, like that looked fire, right? Last Dance with Rain, no Jacob. Now Jacob shows up. And I think they're really trying to find their form still. Like and that's the excuse they're going to use is, hey, we're still trying to find our form. And I'm struggling to see, because I have not believed in Jacob from day one that form will actually show up. Now they're all saying as players like, oh, Jacob's going to get there, we're going to figure it out, kind of thing. But I think it's too little, too late, especially with the major right around the corner for this one.
I think the big thing for me at this event, especially, was just Brokey was like actually terrible. Like he didn't
Yeah.
perform any of the maps that they played. He had terrible ratings the whole thing, and I think that was the difference at EPL is like he was playing good. Now Twist was absolutely frying out of his mind at that event too, which obviously helps. But I mean, Twist is still on the top of the leaderboard here in this game too, and it's just like if Brokey's not able to provide any value with his op, then it's really hard to win maps like that.
Totally. I mean, because you still have Kerrigan going negative on that side. He still doesn't look great.
But you just can't be FaZe Clan and attempt to be popular and be bad. Like it's not an option, right?
Yeah.
And that's where it's like no hate to Brokey. It's like I would rather have Simple selling jerseys than Brokey at times playing worse than him in his not good form. And it's like I just don't know what you're doing. It makes no sense to me when you bring in Jacob. Like you are FaZe. You should be bringing in top level talent. You should be signing players like JL and big name free agents. Like if Fury wants to pick up Molodoy, like that's a risk that organization is willing to take because when you think of Fury, you're not thinking of a titan of Counter-Strike. But if you're FaZe, if you're Spirit, or if you're any team in the top 8, like you have to pick up big names. You should not be taking risks. The fact that Falcons took Kiosuke is crazy, but they were also in a spot of borderline desperation. But that should not be the expectation of top 8 teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. No, for FaZe, for me, it's always like they do want to be that top dog, and they are taking this like chance on Jacob, and like we are closing in on the major. And as we go off of right now, they have absolutely no chance at the major right now with this roster unless that thing they're talking about with Jacob and Brokey's going to step it up, that they're actually going to perform. And even when we see their team do really well, if we look back at the Pro League, it's like they made it pretty far, but ultimately they stumbled at the end. And Jacob hasn't been able to get him close to that. And Twist is still playing out of his mind. I mean, that is a good trade for them. He has came from Liquid, and he has been dominating for them. But it's just you have the other couple players on the team that just are not able to get it together. So at this point, I think it's just maybe some changes need to be made, or else you're just going to fade into obscurity.
Sure. It's also one of those where it's weird because like when you look at the the greater picture, it's like you have 2 players on your roster that have no major experience and no like big pressure moments. It's like when you have Elige and Rain and Simple and these guys, like they've been on that stage, like they've heard that crowd, they've felt what that feels like, right? It's like you now look bad, you are not consistently winning, and you have 2 people that are probably going to get blindsided by pressure at a major event, and it's like you expect that to be a team to compete for a championship.
The only saving grace I think they have here is they are starting in stage 3 or whatever the beginning, the first one won, and so that gives them some momentum, right? They can kind of get some practice against good teams and find a flow, and then kind of run through it. I think that's their only saving grace.
If they can make it out of it.
I totally agree. Like I wouldn't put my money on it. It's like we're obviously gonna do our Pickems for them at some point. It's like, am I gonna take FaZe to go out of it? It's like I don't know. That's tough. I don't understand why you don't keep Rain and get rid of Jacob. Like I'm curious what happened behind the scenes of how that doesn't flow, because I think they look so much better with Rain right during EPL. It makes sense. That team has been together before and they've won together before, and maybe they just had somebody has faith in Jacob that we don't have.
I mean, I think they're just sitting at risk. I mean, I do think on the unfortunate part about Molodoy is like you look at Molodoy, who for all intents and purposes has been a risk, and he's a top 10 player of the year right now. Like it is something that Fury took a long shot on, and he is for sure panning out.
Sure.
And you're hoping for players like him. Like we know that Donk and Kiosuke and those guys, like they did come from. We knew they were good, and they immediately were cast in the spotlight. And it's like, hey, is this going to be another one of those? But it's like 6 months ago, we weren't talking about Jacob. We were talking about Kiosuke. Like he could be the next Donk. Like that is probably a worth it risk. But like to me, it's like Twiz makes sense, Elige makes sense, Rain makes sense, JL makes sense. Like you want these people. Like we had faith in them at the last major because it's like you mean we're gonna get Rain and Kerrigan and Elige and Simple and like that's the roster we're looking at. There's a little magic in there. They might make a run. They have a chance. But it's like right now, it's like Twiz is playing good. Kerrigan is Kerrigan, and then we have Brokey who is doing this and what are
Super
we
hit or
looking at?
miss. Yeah, like he'll play good every couple series, but that's like all you're getting.
Well,
from him
and you
now.
got, I mean, we haven't talked about him much, but like the Kerrigan conversation too. It's like he's not performing, right? He's IGLing, right? And he needs, in some ways, in order to play within his system, because he's not going to play well. We know he's not. He might be good for like one clutch, so he's going to get you one round on the back end of it, but like his stat line has not been good. So you need somebody to kind of make up for that in a lot of ways. You need some horsepower, and they just
Totally.
don't have it. So.
And we look at another team, like we look at Navi as well, who didn't get to make the playoff stage. And I think that when you think, a lot of people point the finger at Alexi B for his IGLing abilities currently. But I was looking at some advanced analytics and was talking about how when it comes to shot calling decisions, which tend to be more T-sided strikes, they're a top 5 team right now.
Sure.
When it comes to playing less shot calling performance when you're CT, when you're trying to play defense, they're, I think, literally the worst of the top 21 teams right now. And it's like, it's easy to point the finger at an Alexi B or a Kerrigan when the team starts doing bad, but it's like, if you're not hitting your shots and Brokey gets collapsed on, then you play changes mid-map, so it's irrelevant what you're doing. So it just gets into weird spots, but we're seeing the same thing. Like Makaze, new kid coming in, Navi looked a little good in the honeymoon phase, and now they're kind of struggling.
Yeah, and I have that team, Navi specifically, kind of in this bucket where, like, I like a 3D Max, even though, and we talked about this off show, but like, we can mention it in the fact that they definitely slowed down this tournament. They were not as explosive as we normally seen, but they are an explosive team, right? And so there's them, there's Pain Gaming. Navi kind of fits that role, and I think not as much for Heroic for me, but those kind of 3 teams have like the potential to do big things, I think, with the explosive power. And Navi specifically, I mean, I'm on that roster so good. I am, however you say his name. He has looked amazing and had a lot of big clutch moments along with Mikaze. So it's like, it's crazy to see those players not do as well specifically in this event. And they kind of showed up against a really strong Astralis squad. So.
Yeah, and I mean, in the last few events, Navi's actually looked really good. They've kind of rose up the ranks. They were on a skid, and then they kind of got themselves back together, and then they just completely skid out again this event. And this is that event where you look at it, and it's like, all the big teams are here. We're gearing up towards the major. This is where you're starting to get, like, for real, and they just fall flat. And I think you see, like you said, they lost to an Astralis team who had really been on a downtick, and it looks like Astralis has kind of reeled things back in.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is the big event where we all show up and we have to play our best. And Astralis arrived at that moment, and Navi just kind of fell.
Dude, the old Magic Boomer, dude.
He was popping off.
He actually did good. It was amazing to see.
He was popping off.
Except for the Falcons match. But
I mean, the problem is when you look at those brackets, they're so stacked on who you got to play, because it's like, if you're Navi, even if you win that one, your next game's gonna be crazy hard. And then even if you beat Heroic, then you got to play Spirit. And then if you beat Spirit, then you got to play Mongolz. It's like, dude, I mean, the top 4 to 6 right now are so good. It's also weird that this event has a shorter, smaller bracket stage.
Yeah.
So it's not that many teams going. So it's obviously less spots. You're only getting 3 per side. But I mean, there's more than 6 good teams right now in Counter-Strike, which is great.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because I mean, Astralis, the way they've been looking, I mean, they could. I don't know if they could win this one, but they're going to play against Vitality in the playoffs.
Yeah,
so,
they're
but they have definitely made the right upward tick. Where like I'm going to give them more stock when it comes to the major in a couple weeks. So.
Yeah.
If they take down Vitality, then Vitality's good.
I mean, I don't think Vitality's good for anyway. But Astralis for me is like, it's simple. It's like they keep going through this, and I feel like many times on the show we always talk about like, oh, Astralis has made this change. They're on the uptick. They're looking good, and then the next tournament they will look like absolute Donnies. It's crazy. But then this one they come in and they're swinging, and unfortunately they do drop to the Falcons, who's also on the heater. But it's like, you never know what Astralis you're going to get. And I think, yeah, sure, if they do all lock in, you got some legacy talent on there. It is possible to maybe make a run, but I just can't even see them making it to the semifinals. But I can see them making it into the final stages.
Sure. I mean, they didn't look good against Falcons, for sure.
Yeah, I think, unfortunately, we have to take the cat out of the bag and let Davis just have his moment and talk about the Falcons. I think we just have to.
There's really not a whole lot
out of the way.
There's really not that much to talk about. I mean, just complete domination on their side. M0nesy really stepping up. Really, the last few events, he's kind of arrived. I know when he first got on Falcons, he just wasn't performing at all, and I think that really got to him. I think he locked in, and he's arriving ready for the major.
Yeah, I mean, I say this. So there's also like this catalyst of conversation on the back end, but the Mongolz are obviously going through their thing when it comes to Senzu leaving, and we've got controllers. I don't know if there's an R or whatever.
Controls.
Mr. Controls showing up, and like he's done fine. He's been on the top of the leaderboard for that squad for a couple series. He's been on the bottom of the leaderboard for a couple series. But I obviously am the #1 fangirl over here of the Mongolz, and so I will own that. But I also do love watching the Falcons play, and so they have kind of become a little bit more of the front runner for me, where now I'm seeing some momentum, I'm seeing some good moments, but I'm waiting for the crash, right? Because historically, they normally have this moment where it's like a 4v1 that they should not ever lose that just makes them fall apart. And so whether it happens in their series against whoever wins the Furious Mongolz match or down the line, it's like they have to get past that moment. And I think that moment is still coming for them. And it's not them losing that round, it's them rebounding from that round because they normally fall apart after they lose that round.
Well, I mean, I think in this event right now, they're winning those rounds, and they're actually doing it to other teams. Because like Spirit in that Ancient, one, it was a really cool insight because you had Spirit goes up super heavy in the Ancients versus the Falcons, and then you listen into the Zontics, and Zontics like, we're the best effing team in the world on CT. Let's win it in regulation. They almost did. They came back, but it's 11-11. They full buy to Ego Spirit, lose the round, and you're like, oh, they're checked. They're going to be playing with pistols in this last round. They got no chance. You got Nico on a FAMAS, and I think it's Kixon and Tessus with Deagles. They win a 5v3 on Spirit to force overtime, and Spirit just get rolled in OT. But it feels like normally Falcons are on the other end of that. Yeah. They're normally in the driver's seat about to win, and then, oh, man, something bad happens, and they get rolled. But it's like they're actually the ones doing the rolling now. It's crazy to see Spirit lose a round like that, but it's good on the Falcons where it's like it's actually rolling in their favor right now.
I don't know. It's good on them, but I'm not completely sold yet. Like they're doing fantastic, and M0nesy is finally performing in that way that we want him to. But I feel like the teams they have beat right now has not really shown me much prowess to like what necessarily they're going to do in the playoffs as to another team like Mouse. But another team that I occasionally don't have the strongest favors to.
Sure.
They went through like a gauntlet for their bracket to get here, and they've been looking really good. So it's like the Falcons, while they've been looking good, they've not been playing the best of teams right now. But if they do keep up that momentum, then yes, they definitely have a really strong suit of winning this tournament.
I can't believe Pat said that about the Falcons because they played Tyloo first, smoked them, played Team Spirit, smoked them.
Yep,
and then they played Astralis. So it's
their only challenge was Spirit. Well, at least we thought would be a challenge.
Well, Spirit did not play well this event. Dude, Chopper looked awful in some moments. He lost some terrible gunfights.
I would still take Chopper over what Dwayne was doing, or not. No, I think it's tough too because like when you think about that, it's like a player matchup type beat, right? And it's like M0nesy, Shiro actually played decently in that matchup, but M0nesy right now is playing like the best player in the world. He's looking better than Donk. And then what they did was, it was like in the Ancient, they showed a stat at one point. It was like when in gunfights, Donk was like 14-4, and 3 of them he did die to Kyosuke. But it's like, he died like 12 more times. They just were like nading him to death. He would go into every fight with 20 health, and it's like, they were like macroing him well. But then you think about, how does that line up versus the Vitality? Like, M0nesy versus Zywoo. Right now, I'm taking M0nesy. He looks better. But Zywoo can also use an AR. M0nesy really doesn't do that well with an AK or anything like that. And then it's like, Kyosuke right now isn't competitive enough to beat a Rops, in my opinion. And then you got Flames and Mezzy, and then they're going up against Kixon and Tessus. And then Nico actually is the second best player right now on Falcon, and he looks good. And it's like, it's tough. Like, I still probably think Vitality have the edge player to player, but then you look at a Mouse, it's like, it's the Torzy show. And if Mozzie shuts down Torzy, it's smoke. They're going to smoke him.
That's where I'm at, too. The team that I'm really worried about with that is Vitality. I mean, Falcons has beat Mouse a couple times in a row now, going back to EPL and stuff. So I'm not really worried about their matchup with Mouse. But I think if Vitality makes it to the final, I'm still really nervous for that. I think they could definitely win it, but it's definitely, that's the giant that you're trying to take down is Vitality.
Sure. Well, it's always, too, just kind of been their kryptonite. I mean, Vitality just recently smashed them at another tournament. And so if, like, they do get that back-to-back, this is their moment to be able to reclaim that and take down Vitality. But just the history matchup between the two, it's like heavily favored in Vitality. And sure, they've looked a little shaky, but Vitality is still Vitality.
Yeah,
it's a tough one.
I think the hard piece right now is like we're seeing a Falcons that we've not seen before. You have M0nesy playing like it is him versus Donk for best player in the world, and then you have Nico who's saying, "Hey, I might be old, but I'm still top 10, guys." Like, and he's looking as good or better than a Rops right now. And if he plays at that level, like if that's your number 2, I'm taking M0nesy over Zywoo, and if I can take Nico over Rops, like, it's probably going to be a wrap. It doesn't matter who's on the backside.
Let's not get that.
And I think too, we just had the stats up there a second ago. I think Kixon's really stepped it up recently too in terms of his firepower. I still think that in my opinion, if there was one critique of the team, I think his IGLing is still lacking a little bit compared to some other IGLs that are around the league.
Apex.
But I think, yeah, Apex and like even Kerrigan with his just comfortability in certain moments, making certain calls. I don't think Kixon has that same just comfort in making certain calls in like big moments. But his firepower has really stepped up recently.
And that's where I think the confidence is going to come in because, like, that ego mid-push on Spirit to force overtime is, like, insane. And that's, like, probably a straight, like, hey, this is our one moment. And then when that starts hits, you start feeling confident. Like that is when it gets scary. Because I mean, all the credit to Apex because he's one of the most confident people in the game. And it's like he never questioned his decision, which is probably the reason Vitality does so well. But Kixon is probably one of those where it's like you get 5v2'd enough where you're like, you question everything.
Is this the right decision? Yeah, exactly.
Well, they also have big egos on that team. Like Nico, he probably thinks he wants to run this play instead of the other. Because we've seen moments, there's been clips of them disagreeing on what the call is for the actual play. So it's like when you get 5 big personalities like that, they're not going to gel. Where Apex, he has 4 players on his team that are a little bit quieter than him. Like it's very easy for him to be the commanding voice. So it's like, Davis, we talk about this all the time. It's just like you just listen to the call and you go. Are we going together as a team, or are people going to question the call? And it's like you just go, right? And they just go with him, and it normally works out. And you have Rops, who is just he's so consistent on the back end for them. On a lot of the times where they anchor, Rops is going to get one, and he's going to get some information, and he's really the big playmaker for that team for me in a lot of ways. But I did want to mention when they played against Mongolz on Inferno, that map 3 that went overtime. I mean, it's exertion on that Mongolz squad that won that game for them. Brolin had a couple big plays. He had a 2v1 that was really big in OT. But exertion is the guy on that Mongolz squad that really makes a difference. And if he does not show up for Mongolz, they do not do well.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I agree. And I think Torzy's, he's obviously a big part of the team too with his op. But like you see this game right here, he's got a .75, but they were still able to win the series and take him down. So that just shows that the firepower from your rifles, Spinks, and Xertion combined for this map, they just carried the team to victory. And that's what you need.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, it's like Spinks has been doing like a lot better. It's like normally he's another one on Mongolz that you want to step up, and that's why they constantly in that 3rd to 4th range is because like they definitely do have the firepower on the team. It's just it seems like they always slip up somewhere.
Yeah.
And I feel like Spinks is one of those big factors, and he's been kind of on it this tournament. Kind of the story with a lot of players this tournament. So it's like as long as he keeps it up and Torzy and Exertion and all them, I think they definitely have a strong shot against Vitality. So there's that chance that Vitality doesn't even make it to the finals, and it is the Mongolz Falcon show in the end.
No, I also think Vitality's like low-key very fortunate because like Furia looked really good. And it's also like supposing the Mongolz matchup, Yukindar was like pretty sick and playing through it. So it's like that team actually looks like they're on one and doing really, really good. And it's like just based on how well they performed against Mongolz and other teams. And if you look at the most recent track record, like they are for sure on a come up. And like if Molodoy keeps on popping off like he's popping off, like he's going to be, if he isn't already, the 2nd or 3rd best opera in all of CS. And, like, I do think m0nesy is running away with it right now. And I still, like, while Zywoo might be losing a little credit with the op, he's still insane with the AR. Like, he's for sure the best hybrid. But it's like Molodoy is looking cracked. And it's like Vitality didn't draw them in the first round. They couldn't see him to the finals anyway. But, like, Fury is scary on that top side.
Yeah, 100%. One thing I wanted to say, too, when we were talking about Mongolz, I think it's going to be very, very interesting when the major comes around to see how Torzy reacts to it being his hometown event.
Sure.
Because if he really embraces that and he starts popping off, and you have Spinks and Xertion popping off like they have been, they could be the favorite in my opinion.
They're winning, and he's been quiet too.
Yeah.
It's not like he's been crazy on that squad. The Riflers have really been the standouts for those. I mean, like we talked about. But when Torzy plays well, I mean, when your op plays well, you just have such a better chance to win because you normally end up at a lot of 4v5s, and if you can take it down from there, it's a pretty good thing.
Yeah, to me, the only scary...
And this is good stats right here.
Yeah, to me, the only scary part right now is, like, you're going to be leaning heavy on Brolin for your IGL. And that piece is, like, when you compare it to a Fate, or when you compare it to an Apex on Vitality and otherwise, then it's like, what are you going to get out of it, right? Like, can you actually push the envelope? Can you push the narrative? Like, can you get those opening breaks? 'Cause it feels like Mals are winning all the scrappy fights. Like, they're recovering in rounds, they're winning late, they're, like, finding ways to win, but it often isn't their play calling, it often isn't the breakout. And it's like, when you go to the major, you're gonna get the best version of Apex. You're gonna get the best plays out of every team, and it's like, not that I think everybody doesn't want to win this, but, like, the note sheet's probably a little bit lighter than it's gonna be in a month and a half.
That's why I think they just keep constantly falling just short, because it's like they are right there on that grasp of being able to be the best, but they just can't quite get those strats and play calling down.
It's also
inconsistent.
We're in a really competitive season. I mean, this is last time when we were walking into the major, it was the Vitality show. Like everybody was trying to beat Vitality, right? And I think other people are playing better the more and more I watch Vitality. I don't think Vitality's playing worse. I think everyone's just kind of risen to them in some ways. Go ahead. I'll let you. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, like, you're dropping maps to VP. And it's like, in the spring, I don't care. They're not dropping maps to the 5th best team in the world, right? They're not dropping maps to Spirit. And it's like now you're dropping maps VP. I think VP looked really good. Like, I want to be very clear. I think VP looked great at this. But it's like 6 months ago, Vitality would not drop a map to Spirit, Mongolz, Falcons. They would occasionally drop a map to Mouse. Now you're dropping maps to teams that are in the 15th to 20th range.
And they're getting second place. I mean, look at this. They're still really consistent
they're worst
in the
placings
top four
for us.
teams.
For sure the favorites.
So, like, they are still getting it done. But other people are also playing well. And, like, your stock's definitely risen on a Furia, on a G2, on a.
But I think it's because Vitality used to be up here, right? And then now Vitality's here. Teams down here have a chance. Sure. When they were up here and teams down here, they didn't have a chance. It's a very different game. But I think, speaking of Vitality stock, I think we're going to hop into our Pickems.
I love that.
So your stock's so high, you got them all the way, right?
Okay.
Isn't that what happened?
Okay, this is going to be a little weird, okay, because I did something different than I normally do. I'm not a believer in the Mongolz and their new roster. I did, they played good against Spirit yesterday, if I'm honest, when we were watching that match. But I just not a huge believer that they're going to make it, so I actually picked Furia over them, and then I have Falcons going all the way against Vitality. I do think the Maus Vitality rematch will be close. I think that's going to be a good one, but I'm hoping the Falcons can take this one down and then ride the momentum into the next major. But I'd love to see the Mongols make it if they can make it. That'd
You
be
got
great.
Mouse taking the third place match there.
I do, yeah.
Taking down the Furia.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it'll be exciting.
Yeah.
Mine is going to be next up, but I basically do the inverse of what I actually want to happen. And that's because if I pick somebody to win, it doesn't pan out. That's why I picked the Falcons to win, because I'm hoping that it doesn't pan out. I actually think the Furia Falcons matchup stands to probably be better than the Miles Vitality because Furia has been on an absolute burner. And if Molodoy gets hot versus M0nesy, it's going to be a fun time. Like, that'll be a really, really fun map to watch. There's also a reality where Falcons just smoke them.
Dude, that's going to be the test. I think if Falcons throw like a really nasty round against Furia, I think they take it from there. They will lose all mental and they'll just go back to their old ways.
For sure. And then in the third place matchup, I did have Vitality winning. But in the scenario that Furia moves on, I actually think Falcons v Vitality or Falcons v Mouse for third will probably be actually a lit match.
Yeah, I agree with that. All those matches look really good.
Yeah, totally. Davis, what you got? I already know the end.
Yeah, the end, I think, is pretty evident. We
3
Falcons going all the way through. I actually have Vitality beating Mouse as well in the semifinal and then playing Falcons besting them in the end. I actually have Furia winning the third place match, and I just think that I think Furia has more motivation to win a third place match than maybe Mouse or Vitality, so I think that they end up winning that.
Yeah, for sure. Pat, tell us something different. Pat.
Mouse is just I'm going to have different because you already know who I got winning this tournament. It's an easy pick. Bring it up. It's Vitality.
Yeah, sure.
Pretty much all the same as the rest of you guys for the pre-matches. Like, Furia is going to take down the Mongolz. I mean, they have a sub. They have been looking great, but Furia is just looking better. Astralis ain't going to be able to take Vitality. Vitality's going to get the best of Mouse. Same with Falcons, but Falcons just can't beat Vitality in the finals. We're going to get there, and it's just going to be the same old thing. Once again, they take them down, and Mouse is going to get their third place finish again, like always.
What's crazy is when you look at those first two matchups, what do you think's a more probable upset? Mongolz with a sub beating Furia or the current form Astralis beating the current form Vitality? Like, it probably is the Vitality Astralis match is probably net closer. I think they're both close.
No. I think Furia
They should win.
Furia are a bigger choke artist than Vitality. I think the Mongols have a better chance of beating Furia than Astralis does of Vitality.
This new Astralis squad looked better than that VP squad. And
I
the
think
VP squad took them to 3.
Yeah, they did till they didn't.
I think the
That's where
Mongols have
all
looked
is.
pretty good, though, with their sub. Like, even though it is a sub control, she's been popping off a few maps.
I know, as we're talking about this, I kind of regret not taking the Mongols. I think, because there's a shot. I do think that they are still, there's 4 really powerful players on that team. 910 has looked really good. He's made a lot of plays for that team. And so I think that could potentially be there. I'm also with you, Dylan, where, like, I'm not so sure if Vitality's going to make, like, easy work of Astralis. Sure. Like, Astralis is going to be a fight for those guys.
And I also think you're going to have, I hope that they smoke them so that the Mouse match is good. Because I think if it's close versus Astralis, then it is not going to be close versus Mouse. And Mouse is going to walk to that finals. Because I just think you're going to be in a little bit of a mental disarray. Like, if you're like, dude, we almost lost to Magics on this old Dane squad of retirement home. And now we got to play these, like, young strapping mice over here.
I don't think they just succumb to stuff like that. They're not the Falcons.
Sure.
I also had pulled up some stats on the Mongols. Just I was trying to figure out why they're losing, and so I got to this weird spot. Yeah, I know. I'm sure they're trying to figure this out too. One of the things that I looked up was the fact that Mongols have a really wide spread on maps. They are the best at Ancient, and they play it a lot. They play it the third most. They play Mirage the most out of any map. And that's most teams, so that's pretty normal. But one of the things I have found, Nuke is their worst by far. They have a terrible Nuke. It's underneath the,
87%.
Well, this is just the last 3 months.
yeah,
so
this
maybe
is
it's
the last
all
3
time.
months, so I did overall for the year.
Sure.
But Nuke has been not great for them. And ultimately, if they play Nuke, they tend to lose the series, like they did with Astralis. That was the first map they played. They played Nuke. They got smoked on it. And the Inferno, they ran into it. And actually, in the best of 3 series for the Mongols specifically, if they play Nuke first and a second map, they tend to lose it. And so I think Mongols will do better if they end up not playing against Furia on Nuke at all, if they could ban that out and get it out for them. So.
Sure. Other than that, any other teams you like upsets or anything you want to shout out for this? Like you think it's probable Fury has a chance, or you think Mal's got a chance, or like if it's not your final that you currently have, who you think's got a sneaky chance?
I could see Furia for sure. I think they've been hot like in multiple events recently, and they're a good team at this point. Like kind of like you were saying earlier. I think not everybody, Vitality's kind of dropped down, and everybody's a little bit more even nowadays. I could see Furia upsetting Falcons and going on.
I'd go with Mouse. I think.
So you think lower side's
anything.
winning?
Yeah, I think lower side's winning.
Okay.
Upper side cakes, lower side. I figured. Nah, it's their moment.
This is the
Third or
same
fourth
guy
the
that
whole
said
time.
that Mouse is not top 5 last week.
Hey, I still believe that. I still believe that.
And he said Furia and Falcons are top 5.
So if they're not
Believe
top
that.
5, where are Falcons and Fury?
He said they were in the
what
top
I'm saying.
5. He
Well,
said
that's what I'm
they
saying.
were.
What are we doing here, dude? Nah, I put Falcons in my top 5. I
He
bumped
put
them up.
Furia in there too. They
I
were
was
fifth.
one of the few on here to put Falcons in the top 5.
I was just saying.
I mean, it's pretty easy to put them in the top 5.
Yeah.
And plus, on the last show, it was all a joke anyway, because I just think Mouse has no fans and they're oralist, but they do consistently finish third, fourth. So yes, they are a third, fourth team, and you can put that in the rankings for them. But they have been doing really well this tournament. So do I think they're going to win the major? No,
So what do you
probably
think?
not.
So where
But
do you think,
this one, they've been on a streaker.
So where do you think Fury is at,
I think Furia, like ranking wise, or just this tournament?
ranking wise?
Ranking wise, man, I just put them out.
You put them above
close up
Spirit?
there. Yeah, right now, yes, I put them above.
Where you putting Spirit?
Mouse, yeah.
Spirit top 5 still. or no?
Spirit, because we couldn't move Spirit last time because you said we can't say Vitality or Spirit. They're locked 1 and 2. I would drop Spirit down to maybe out of the top 5. I'll put Fury in top 5, maybe 4th or 5th. Maybe have Falcons right above them at 4.
I'm just glad this didn't turn into a 6
Nah.
joke with Spirit.
Falcons at 2, Mouse at 3.
No, it had to be bump them up. Maybe I do have Spirit or
I think there's a realistic
Spirit 5,
to me.
Mouse 4, Falcons 3. But I won't know who'd be my 2. That's why I might have to bump somebody up.
If Vitality doesn't make the final and Falcons just roll everybody, I think it's hard not to put Falcons at 1. If they roll,
no.
now I don't know if they're going to
Nah.
roll. If they don't drop a
they
map
finally
first-
roll one time and they just instantly become number
yeah, and
1.
Vitality loses to Astralis, like
I don't think it works that way. I think they definitely go up for sure.
And they've
but,
been
like,
doing really
instantly
good
be number
recently.
1.
they've been.
I mean, I'm flirting with G2 right now on my 5 spot.
I want
Because-
to, but
because
G2, man.
I mean, if Hunter plays that series, I think they have
Got a chance.
more of a shot against Vitality. And even again, I mean, Saw filling in is just awful for them because they need that firepower. So
No, 100%. That's all we got for today, though. We will get to see the tournament action this weekend, so we should hopefully get into some good matches. But as always, thank you for the conversation, and we'll see you in the next one.
Good job, guys.